Welcome back, folks, to another Beef 42 episode. How are you, Beef?
Good, buddy. Good, buddy. Good, buddy again.
Yeah.
Round 11. Round 11. Geez, the year's going quick.
It is indeed. And we keep talking about how we have to do a mid-season show. So we've definitely got to do that. So, but anyway, let's jump straight into round 11 games. Lots to talk about in each of these games. So the first one on Thursday night, another Thursday night game for a change. Cowboys and Knights.
And how good is it to have the Thursday night game back, right? So missed it last week. 3 days of footy just wasn't good enough, right? So having the extra game on Thursday night always helps to bring the week to a close earlier. So really looking forward to this one. Look, the Knights, what can you say? They're just terrible at the moment, right? So got absolutely pummeled by the Tigers last week, and no Ponga again. You got to think they're going to struggle. So up in Townsville, got to think going to give your love to a Cowboy man. So Cowboys to win this one by 10 points. I
got Cowboys by 6. Knights are just chalk and cheese without Ponga. And let's not forget, is still out as well. Massive hits for those guys. And they got some issues. I heard Kenty make a comment today about how the Knights are always in the second year of their 5-year rebuild. And I think that's just so true. They've just got to make that next step. But it's not going to be this weekend up at Townsville Stadium. So
tough ask.
Yeah.
Tough ask.
And then we move on to Friday night, the early game, which means you've got to knock off work early. So the Warriors beat the Tigers.
Yeah, the Warriors. Look, Tigers are up and down like a honeymoon's dick, right? So we've got to think that the Warriors are going to get this one. So Warriors to win this one. Look, in the end, I think the Warriors will get them by 8. Just a little bit, too much. How can you say too much class? So Warriors are a little inconsistent, but RTS super player. So and is it Hunt, right? The young fella who's been playing for him, who just looks absolutely electric, right? So really looking forward to watching this one actually, because the Warriors are actually a fun team to watch, right? So Warriors to win this one by 8 points.
Yeah, and when their game's on, I love watching the Warriors too. The young kid is Walsh, and another one the Broncos have let go, who has just gone on to bigger and better things once he's been released from Red Hill. But you say the Warriors are inconsistent. Boy, the Tigers are just on another level inconsistent. And I picked them to win last week. I can't back them to get 2 in a row, and I got the Warriors by 8 as well. And I think the experiment of Dewey and Mbai while at work last week was just luck. I don't think it was good management at all. So good luck, Tigers, not getting 40 put on you, but I got the Warriors by 8 as well. Now, probably not the match of the round for you this week, the late game Friday, Sharks and Dragons.
For the Dragons, you're losing all of those players suspended last week. This is the game that you wish you were playing Melbourne, where if you lost the 2 points, you'd be okay. But playing the Sharks, the stinky Sharks, with such a depleted lineup, if we win this, it'll be like the baby Broncos winning when they won that time a few years ago. I just can't see them doing it. Sharks got nothing going for them except the fact that all of their guys are playing. And I think the Sharks will do it pretty easy in the end, right? They'll do it in the canter. So go back to Sharks to win this one by 20.
Okay. Look, hard to argue that with the Dragons missing so many and going to have to blood a bunch of young players. But really, I just don't see the Sharks being that good. I've only got them winning by 4, and it'll just need a couple of high shots from the Sharks to bring the Dragons back into this. So,
and that's the thing. I mean, what you think's going to happen could just be thrown out by a roll of the dice and a 10-minute sin bin or a send-off, right? If they do the same as last week, right? So wouldn't be betting any money on this round.
No, I'm going to be saving my hard-earned this week. I'm just going to put a lazy 5 on the Titans and Dogs. I've got my Titans winning by 6. What do you reckon?
Bit of a danger game, I think, for the Tits. But in the end, they got more to play for than the Dogs, right? So the Dogs, Dogs led last week. I think it was, they had Papali sent off. I think they were against 11 men for one stage there, right? Yeah, and they still found a way to lose it. So, the nothing against the Raiders. The Raiders look like they lifted when Papali was sent off, but the Dogs didn't, and that's a bit of a concern. So, I just don't see that the Dogs have got points in them, and the Titans, I think, got a bit more to play for, a bit more class. So I'm going to back the Titans to win this one, 28-16, 12 points.
Nice call on the score as well. I like it. I think it's a danger game as well, mate, and I'm really scared. But our perennial penalty giver-awayer, if that's a word, Tyrone Peachey has been suspended for a couple of weeks, so he won't be lying around in the ruck giving away 6 more and causing us all sorts of heartache. And look, I like Big Tino at 13, and I like Mo starting at the prop rather than coming off the bench. I know it gives us a bit less depth, but I just like that as a much better starting front 6. So look, fingers crossed, and hopefully we can put one on the Dogs and get our season back on track. But
I think Mo has been a pretty disappointing player this year, right? So he hasn't gone on with it at all. When you look at what Tino has come in and done, he's actually earned his coin, right? So and more, right? But Mo hasn't lifted at all.
No.
Jared Wallace has even got better. So Mo's got to pick it up.
Well, and just on that, I think the big reason for that is because he's been put on the bench. I reckon he's in for a big game this week. The only other time he started, I can't remember who was suspended, but anyway, he got to start and he played the best game he has all season. So him starting on the bench just doesn't agree with him. Obviously, he's got to get his mindset right because it's going to happen to everyone in their career. But to come from Origin last year to be put on the bench this year, I think it rocked his confidence, and he's taken a little while to adjust to that. But fingers crossed. And Big Tino, I need you to hang on to the ball, mate. You drop the ball just a little bit too often, but and keep your shots down. So where are we at? Oh, that was the early Saturday game. So we're on to the middle of Saturday now. Roosters and Broncos. Holy, good luck, Broncos.
Broncos, Broncos couldn't beat Burley, I don't think, right? So, how long is it until Carmichael Hunt gets a start at the Broncos, right? So they've gone through the halves merry-go-round. Albert Kelly gets a run, the old Gold Coast Titan, Albert Kelly, right? But he weighs like 125 kilos now, right? As a running 5'8". Look, how can you go against the Roosters? Every week I look at the Roosters and go, how can they win with their lineup, right? They've still got a decent lineup, but they've still got a lot of holes, especially bench-wise. And, you look at their hooker, Marshke, average player, right? But, they keep getting the job done. And I think their draw has been pretty good. But, Sam Walker will say hello to all the Broncos fans and say this is what you're missing by not having me, but the Broncos will compete, right? They'll lose it late, and I'm going to back the Roosters to win this one by 14 points.
Yeah, I got the Roosters by 12, and Kevy dropping Milf again and bringing Albert Kelly in just reeks of desperation.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
That it makes
just every week there's someone new.
Yep.
So I get it. You're not happy with him, right? But work out what you're going to do and give some people some time to see if they're successful. Milford hasn't been great. I don't think he's been the major problem, unless Kevy's found him shagging his daughter or something, right? So which could, I don't even know if he's got a daughter. I hope she's over age, right? But there's got to be something there, right? He's just got a hate on for for Milf, and the Milf's gone next year. He's definitely gone. There's no chance he's re-signing.
Yeah. And look, I'll tell you what, if we can get him for 300, I'd buy him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take a chance on him too.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, good luck Broncos, and we'll move on to the late game for Saturday. And what would have been a blockbuster has been marred by the amount of people who have been suspended, and we've got the Raiders without the big guns up against the Storm.
Yeah, well, the Raiders are missing Papali, Hodgson, Whiten, Nickel, Clockstead.
Yeah.
But the Storm are also missing Harry Grant, Munster, and Pappenhausen, right? So missing some pretty decent players. What you see here is that the Storm's just got a lot more depth, right? So I can't see them playing. Who was named in at 5'8"? Who was named at 6 for Storm?
Normally Riley Jack, so I didn't notice this.
No, he wasn't. They named another bench guy. I can't remember.
Right. Okay.
I can't see him lining up like that, but Storm are $1.12. They're $1.12 with missing those 3 guns. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. This is a game I thought the Raiders would win, and then last week happened, and suspensions happened, right? So Storm will win this, and Storm will win it pretty easy in the end, right? So Storm will win this by 14.
Yeah, I got Storm by 12, and you're right. It's the ability for the Storm to replace their big outs. They got Nico Hines to fill in for Pappenhausen, and they got the Cheese to fill in for Harry Grant. So, and I just looked it up. With Chris Lewis at 6.
Lewis, yeah.
But you know what? They don't miss anything in those other 2, to be honest. So they'll be fine. And Nico Hines, if you're looking for a gig next year, we'll have you. So
someone's got to sign him, right? I mean, the guy's too good to sit on the bench for Melbourne, right? So jump on him.
All these fullbacks want to play 6. So you got Katoni Staggs who's a centre. He wants to play 6. You got Nico Hines who wants to play 6.
Good luck. Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, Nico Hines would be a good 6 for you. You need a 6.
We do. So, but I think he's a much better fullback.
Yeah, true. But not many people need fullbacks, right? Dufty's off contract too, and there's not many clubs would be chasing him right now, right? Because most clubs are pretty set at fullback. Right? So
yeah.
All right, and then we're off to Sunday.
Move on to Sunday, which I think 2 really good games. And we start off with the Rabbits and the Panthers.
Yeah, this will be a good one, right? So, it's difficult how can you back against the Panthers? They're so methodical. Everything they do is just done well, and Cleary he's a moral to win the Dally M this year, right? So, I don't know what he's paying now, but we should have a look at that, right? Because I think if he stays healthy, there's 0 chance that he's not going to pick up points because he's just so dominant. In saying that, the Rabbits get back Mitchell this week, which moves Walker back to 5'8". And you know what? I think Souths have a bit of a chip on their shoulder this week, right? Because, they haven't been performing the way that they kind of would have been wanting to, but they're still 4th, right? Still in the top 4. And I think they'll come out looking for something to prove. So I'm going to back an upset here, and I'm going to back the Rabbits to win this one by 4 points.
That's uncanny. I've gone for a roughie and got the Rabbits up by 4 as well. I think Latrell Mitchell's going to come out an angry human after missing the last 4 weeks, and he's got the ability to turn the game on its head just on his own. And unfortunately, the Panthers are probably the team that won't allow that to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I've just got a funny feeling that the Rabbits are going to be
Agreed. So, yeah. Well, let's hope we're right because, someone needs to knock the Panthers down a notch to kind of bring this competition back to life a bit.
And it's paying $3.10 for the Rabbits to be the first team to knock the Panthers off the pedestal. So the bookies even think that's a bit of a chance as well by the looks. So
yeah.
And then move on to the last game of the round is another good one. Eels v the Sea Eagles.
Yeah, well, Sea Eagles, they've they were absolutely horrid until Tommy T came back, right? You know, and since Tommy T's come back, my God, they look a totally different side, you know. And not just the impact of him, but how he impacts on the other players. You look at when he makes a break and then Saab coming up the outside, you know, the two of them mixing together, just the speed is just amazing. But saying that, you know, Parramatta are a pretty good team, right? And, you know, Parramatta and Manly hate each other. So,
yeah,
back to the 80s, love it. And, you know, the Eels will get up for this. And I think the Eels will win it. The Eels will win it by 6 points in the end. And hopefully it's two teams who bash the shit out of each other.
Yep, agree. Why do we play them next week?
Good point. I have no idea. I haven't even looked at who we all play the week after.
Just for general. So I've got the Eels by 8. And look, I've just looked at a really interesting thing for the Eagles now. After the first 4 weeks, they were 0-4, and everyone had written them off. And then Tommy Turbo comes back and, they beat the Warriors before Tommy come back, and now they're just almost lights out. Their first 4 games were against the Roosters, Rabbits, Dragons, Panthers. So
4 top 4 teams.
At the time, they were top 4 teams. And, you know, that's just the way the season started. Everyone, mostly just me, was calling for Desi Hasler's head. And realistically, they played some really hard teams to start the season.
Yeah, and it's interesting. If you were going to be playing against, if you're going to be missing Tommy, then you'd want to be playing those top teams.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't want to be playing those lower teams and you end up losing those points, right? So maybe it's been a good blessing for them, right? But you know, geez, he's made a difference. And he's rocketing up the Dally M's too, right? So, super player.
Yeah. Yeah, and I said it last week, but the Titans can play any team into form. And, it looks like we've done that again for these guys. So, well, that's about it for round 11, mate. I don't think we've got too many different, to be honest. But, look, I hope your tips come up. And, mate, have a good weekend.
All right, guys. Enjoy your footy. Take care.
All right. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share down below. All right, folks.